I spoke to a few entrepreneurs and they said very good things about the platform. I'd love to try it too. I'd love to find out, the things the good things they're saying about it, what transformation it can bring to our business as well. But what are some of the opportunities that you saw within the Ghanaian ecosystem that made you think that this is what I want to go for? This is what I want to provide the support in.
So, I guess Peace Corps was so transformational for me because it kind of all goes back to that. So when we were about to do our second Dare to Innovate accelerator program, that's when Ebola broke out. So the entrepreneurs were right. Peace Corps comes and goes. Americans come and go because Peace Corps pulled out. We lost all of our funding.
Okay.
Our Guinean partners could have run the program if they had funding, but our funding was through Peace Corps and we lost all of it. Luckily, Dare to Innovate survives. It's now the largest accelerator in Francophone Africa. We made it through. But as a result of that kind of like massive rupture, all of the volunteers were back in America and we rented an Airbnb and we put ourselves through our own accelerator program. So we condensed it. It was like the most intense 4 days. We took our week long of programming and just, we knew it so deeply. So we didn't have to train. We just kind of did it. We went through the program. And the outcome of that was not OZE, but it was the kernel of the seed that grew into OZE. So the design challenge we were trying to solve through that accelerator was how might we support entrepreneurs remotely? Because Ebola made social distancing cool before COVID. And at scale, because our first accelerator was 21 people, and we're not going to solve any problems 21 people at a time. So a technology platform came out of that. It was more focused to the development sector, but my day job at the time was innovation strategy work for Fortune 50 companies. So I was learning a lot about human-centered design, a lot about business model design, a lot about how to get people to adopt new technologies. And so when I was taking that kind of influence from the work I was doing and layering it onto the output of that accelerator, it slowly morphed into OZE. When I was finishing up consulting, I went to graduate school and I took 4 months off. I quit 4 months early, let's say. I moved back to my hut in Guinea.
Okay.
And was also going back and forth to Benin because that's where Dare to Innovate moved during the Ebola crisis. And what I learned during that time, it wasn't OZE at the time, it was the platform before OZE. But what we learned during that period of prototyping was that there was not enough mobile internet for people to access the solution. So I got into grad school, the platform started morphing, it got closer to what is OZE today. And I was like, okay, unfortunately, Guinea is not the place for this. And so I say it's like the most MBA activity I did in my MBA. Like I literally listed countries down the side, like parameters across the top, like market size, internet penetration, and Ghana rose towards the top of the list. I came to Ghana.
Why Ghana? Why not Nigeria? What was the
so there's a couple of like good reasons and a couple of bad reasons. Good being like there are parameters from which you should have made a decision. When you think back to that was before OZE existed as OZE is, so this was probably like 2017.
Okay.
Nigeria hadn't yet popped off as like the heart of fintech for Africa.
Okay.
So it wasn't like we were trying to do the exercise proving why we should go to Nigeria. I was also a student of MIT at the time.
Okay.
They had tons of resources. I was in this program called the Legantum Center for Entrepreneurship in Emerging Markets.
Okay.
And they would pay for me to go wherever and do research while I was a student. Except not Nigeria because of where it was on the State Department risk list.
Right.
So the Ghana was a place that I could go that had great smartphone penetration. Like still, Ghana has great smartphone penetration.
Yeah.
And the MIT network here is strong. So before I even came to do my research, I had like a full 10 days of programming, like because I talked to people on the phone and they were like, oh, you need to meet this entrepreneur or organize an event for this. You got to go here, you got to go there. And the same problems that I was seeing in Guinea around the constraints that keep micro businesses micro were also, I discovered when I came here, also existing in Ghana. And so it made sense. We knew from day one we wanted to build a Pan-African company. So we were looking for our first country of operations, not our only country of operations. And I think Ghana is really strong for that as well.